Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Coinscrum Markets. I'm Nisa Amoils. Coming up, I'll be joined by Kraken's Pette Rizzo and Fidelity's Ria Butaria to discuss their reports. Philip Kallerhoff will be looking at hash rate futures in this week's crypto RFQ. Tina's been speaking to Safedine Ammous about the Bitcoin standard, and Philip Gradwell from Chainalysis is back for his regular review of this week's on-chain data. First, a look at this week's blockchain industry news. U.S. exchange Kraken has issued a report with Finery Technology on how the great wealth transfer will fuel the great Bitcoin adoption. Here's a clip from my talk with Pette Rizzo about it. I'm here with Pette Rizzo from Kraken. Thanks so much, Pete, for joining today.
Yeah, happy to be here, digitally, of course.
So, you guys just released a great report talking about how over the next several decades, the US will undergo an intergenerational wealth transfer of $68.4 trillion. Millennials aged 24 to 39 and Gen X 40 to 55 could drive 1 trillion or more of wealth into Bitcoin over the next 25 years. So what tools and theories did you use to arrive at this?
Our goal was really to take what I think people have as the vague impression that Bitcoin will be successful in the future and take hard data that we could find to supplement that, right? So we could paint a picture for readers about what the future might look like, right? So we wanted to examine authoritative sources and make estimates and, avoid predictions, right? We really want someone to come into this report, maybe fresh, maybe a little understanding about Bitcoin from what they've heard in the news, and leave with a set of frameworks that they can look at in terms of analyzing what might be the opportunities for them, their family, for their wealth management as it relates to Bitcoin. So I think what the report really achieves is a great job of summing up past research related to demographics, as you alluded to, and their interest in Bitcoin, right? So it really builds on a lot of other studies and surveys, as you mentioned, that find that younger demographics tend to be more favorable, have a more favorable outlook for Bitcoin. So then we wanted to apply the lens of Bitcoin's long-term value proposition, which is really, what we think is the store of value, a technology that people would use for savings, and that provides a non-government alternative to money. So, and then we wanted to apply data from, what we know about how generational wealth transfer occurs, right? So when you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about how money might move between assets. One of the things to look at is, we can make some estimates based on how we know, generations interact and transfer wealth, right? So that's inheritance tax, mortality rates, things like that. So the report really paints a picture of, if it is true that millennials and Gen X are more prone to making Bitcoin investments and believing favorably in Bitcoin. And if they are going to inherit this large amount of money from other generations, maybe who are less favorable, and if they do then decide to put some of that money into Bitcoin, what that might do for the Bitcoin market and how in the future, right, what that market looks like.
Anything going on at Kraken that you want to tell us about in terms of your brand building or otherwise?
Sure. So, obviously the big narrative that people have heard a lot about with Kraken is hiring, right? We've got 70 plus job positions opening. We're over 1,100 employees now, all remote, working globally. I've definitely been fortunate to see a lot of my, old sources and friends in the industry, people like Marco Santori, Dan Helt, come here and, really start picking up the shovel and building something great. So, yeah, I would definitely say for anyone interested in putting their talents or creativity towards the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space, definitely consider Kraken. We're hiring, jobs.kraken.com, and I think a wide range of different specialties too, not just technical. So
great,
check it out.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Elsewhere in the news, decentralized blogging is coming to a crypto URL near you thanks to a partnership between Unstoppable Domains and Protocol Labs. ION, Microsoft's decentralized identity system, launches beta on Bitcoin mainnet. The vision for ION is to furnish users with a decentralized identifier that could replace the need for usernames. This could help us all when we forget passwords or are vulnerable to hacking. Wilshire Phoenix is offering a Bitcoin investment trust similar to Grayscale's offering, but at a lower fee of 0.9%. A survey conducted by news website The Tokenist found that 47% of respondents from 17 countries trust Bitcoin over big banks, up from 29% 3 years ago. And Tether, the dominant yet sometimes controversial dollar-backed stablecoin, leapfrogged XRP this week to move into third place in the crypto market cap rankings with over 9 billion of supply in circulation now versus 2 billion at the start of the year.